we need to fight for men's rights, but understand that the fight for women's rights, intersectionally, often involves the fight for men's rights.
Right.
So when I'm specifically talking about incels, hence here for it, and I'm glad that you prefaced this because this actually reminded me to, is I am not talking about the people who have legitimate grievances. I'm talking about the people who are obsessed with social hierarchy when it comes to men and women and believe that they should be put in their own place.
Yeah, but again, just to reiterate, you'll have Ode on, and
Yeah. Fuck
the,
yeah.
the organization that is dedicated to liberating men is called Men's Liberation, and it does this through a feminist perspective, I believe, and through a non-toxic way. They focus on legitimate issues while also talking about how the issues of men impact women. But let's talk about shitbags. So incels are interesting. We have are all MRAs incels, or are all incels MRAs? It's kind of like, not every Trump voter is a racist, but every racist is a Trump voter. And I think part of the problem when we think about why men, because it is this, you're right, it is this weird, particularly with this toxic side of men's rights issues or organization, it is this like weird grasp for any control that they feel like they're losing. Not only are they no longer sent to insane asylums for simply reading, but we have high positions in academia. We are doing better in college than men are. We have more sexual freedom for a long time. And again, this may not be like a conscious thing, but women were seen as this, oh, I have sex with you. We don't have sex together. Now women realize that we don't need men to get off. We don't need it.
That's very true. A lot of this comes from liberation. It like comes from understanding that, times have changed and women have more opportunities,
Yeah. Wow.
And wow. Oh shit. Incel it kind of lingers in the red pills where they're more conservative. They kind of blame it on society, but then it gets really fucking weird when you hit like the black pillar types.
Real quick, I wanted to point out Spicy Aqua's comment. Women started telling men that sex was not good for them, and they were like, not possible? And it's like,
my favorite one of hers too was like, hey, remember when women couldn't give consent? Things were good then. That sums up what I'm saying today. All right, that is perfect. One of my oldest friends when I was a kid, he really hated women, and he actually turned out to be a black pillar, and he explained what black pilling is to me. So he doesn't blame it on society, He doesn't blame his inceldom on society and conservative values. He thinks it's skull shape. He thinks that
well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What did you just say?
Skull shape. I'm not playing. So basically, what it comes down to is that, like how there's like, I hate explaining this because I have to use incel terminology, which is degenerate. So there are Chads and there are Stacys. The reason why you are not a Chad is because your skull is sloped down, like it's like sloped up, so you don't have a firm brow. Your chin is sloped down, so you have a really weak chin, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. That's it. You are at the bottom of the social hierarchy, and you're never moving up. They're a lot worse than the red pillars because they're the people that came up with the term. Should I say it? The term roasties, all right?
Roasties?
Yeah, do you know what that is?
No.
Oh, god damn. This is gonna be
You had me on to talk about incels. I'm like, I don't know.
They came up with this as a term to refer to women who have had so much sexual intercourse with other men that their
Stop it.
labia.
Stop
Yes,
it. Stop
there
it.
it
Like
is. There it
roast
is.
beef? Like roast.
Yes, yes.
Stop.
I'm not
Stop.
playing with you.
That is not
Yes,
how it works.
I know.
That's not how it works down
And
there.
I know. And interestingly, um, they don't turn into fucking. I gotta say it again, roasties, because if they shit, they don't turn into roasties because if they stay with one guy, that's the only time they don't become roasties. If it's with them, but with everyone else,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah.
Oh.
So basically, they're the worst of the types. I remember, back in the day when it was up, there was this subreddit called r/braincell, and they
Oh
had
yeah,
some,
I used to watch
yeah,
it. I'm on our Cells.
oh my god, dude,
Yes.
they used to post stuff. I'm not sure if the mods like started like banning shit like that, but they used to post rope fuel and suey fuel. You know what those are?
No.
Okay, so it's pretty self-explanatory, but let me just explain. So rope fuel are pictures and memes that say like, this is you right now playing video games, and this is every Chad and Stacy cucking you. And it's like, and what it is, it's propaganda, or like it's like memes to
Right.
drive you to
Propaganda.
yeah, to die by suicide. They're like very creative but very awful people. I'm really concerned for people like this because the reason why the whole skull shape thing was introduced into the incel community was because they know that it's unchangeable. If you have anything to add to that, you go ahead. There's like a ton more I have to remember, but I have it in my notes here.
Like I can't like think about incels without being like get a fucking grip. Like and that like after we just talked about mental health too.
Yeah, I know. But to put this in the context, as we've been memeing for a bit, this all derives from change. When people are used to the way that things are for such a long time, they start to really struggle with like coping with their new reality. So when it comes to like the dating world, and when it comes to finding women and success, I think the bigger problem too is there are incels that are way deep in the rabbit hole, that they're so deep there's no more going down besides suicide, and thus they will then reach and pull people down to their level. People who can come out of the ideology and start to improve themselves and understand that there's light at the end of this tunnel, dude. And that's what I have a real problem with. But there's something that they often obsess over, which is their bodies, or like their heads. Yes. And how they look. But most oftentimes they're just average looking dudes,
Right. So it seems like this may stem from a self-esteem issue, right? And it's not like social media helps with this. We have this consistent and constant comparison between what you are and what is Instagram famous worthy, and what is worthy of 100,000 likes. And that, I think that adds to it. If you feel like you are owed something from another individual, then I encourage you to seek help. There's something wrong. You feel some sort of way about a given individual group.
It's like, it's easy to look at the incel problem and to like just go, wow, there's fucking terrible people, but there's a serious problem going on here. Like the stuff that these people say, I'm just giving you guys the PG-13 version of it. All right, if you dive deeper,
so awful
is worse that I really wouldn't even say on stream.
Like
and so
violence against women, the praising of Elliot right?
Oh yeah, that was
Was
crazy.
it Elliot?
Yeah.
Was it
Elliot Roger.
Elliot?
Yeah.
Elliot Rogers.
Hmm.
Yeah, the rape talk. You
Openly.
know, openly, like
Hmm.
this should be okay. Meg says, how do you even approach or try to help these people though, and that is a good point, right? Think about a narcissist. How do you get a narcissist to go to therapy? You don't, because
I was about to
nothing's
say.
wrong with them. It's everybody else.
We're stuck in this weird position where it's so like you almost itch to like really like coddle these people, like kind of understand, like, hey, like I understand, I empathize with you. It's very hard for me to continue to factor in the social conditions that lead them to this type of way of like thinking and try to empathize. I really do try my best, but I think we're coming into a point where I think there are some incels that can be saved and some people who've just been drowned by their own mental health, and there are some people who intentionally try to propagate this women are property ideology.
Yes.
Do you think it's possible that they shredded ballots in Fulton County?
No,
You sure, Brian?
I'm sure.